do this all day.
A bunch of a-holes. Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Hello and welcome to the Infinity Saga and beyond. This is episode 27 of the show. We're kind of in this break now from the end of Loki. Loki ended. That episode premiered on Sunday, our recap episode last Sunday on the 18th. We talked for all time, always, the season 1 finale Loki. Today we're doing a little something different, and next week we have a special guest as well. We have one of my friends, Jack. He has a soccer podcast. We know each other from our separate soccer podcasts, and he went to Disneyland and he got to experience Avengers Campus. So we're going to have him on the next episode, and we're going to talk to him about what that experience was like, and he's going to introduce himself, what his favorite MCU film is, all that kind of stuff. So we'll get into that next time. But for this one, I want to do a little something fun. We've talked, I have that Elseworld series where we also talk anything else I want to talk about. But I think I'm going to have this one just be a main episode. Like I said, episode 27, because it still has to do with Marvel. I want to talk some Marvel comics. And the specific comic series I want to talk was a fun one. It's called DC versus Marvel Comics. This is the 1996 crossover that they did from April to May. 4 issues, and it is a whole lot of fun. I wish I could find the collected edition of this, but unfortunately, it's out of print. These things were collected so long ago, and to get both of them to agree to republish this, that kind of stuff. Like a new paperback version of this costs about $700. So I read this another way. I do have the second issue. of this. I have the second issue, which was I found it at a flea market. I'm pretty sure is how I got my hands on that. But I had never been able to read the full thing, so I was able to read it finally, and I'm just really excited to talk about it because I do find it a lot of fun. It is just so much fun, and we're gonna sit down and just kind of talk it over. The other thing I wanted to do as well is talk. Just kind of like a brief overview as well. I think I'm going to do another one of these. I just was at my local comic shop, and they had a run called Batman and Captain America, which was another crossover that they did. I'm not sure when that one was. 1997 is when that one was. That is an Elseworlds title. You can find it on Amazon used for $48. My comic shop had it $30 used. So I feel pretty good about that. But yeah, there's a few of these crossovers that have happened. That was 1997, written by John Byrne, who is very famous for writing, a lot of good Superman comics. He's written, I think he wrote some Captain America as well. He wrote let's see. Yeah, he wrote a lot of X-Men books, Fantastic Four. He's written for both companies, pretty much. The thing there. He wrote Man of Steel. That's right. The relaunch there of Superman at some point. Not the movie, but the comic book. So he's written for both companies. He wrote that crossover of Batman and Captain America. So that's cool. There's a bunch of these crossovers. They even have a book that's called like the Crossover Classics, published by both of them. The thing is, these are just go out of print so fast because I guess it takes a lot for them to want to reprint these. Not really sure why. I guess it's rights stuff that happens. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get talking about this comic. If you're not familiar with what this storyline was about, it was DC versus Marvel Comics. That was the title of it. Is a showdown. They did some really cool things with this too. So, the plot is like these two godlike brothers who are personifications of the DC and Marvel universes, and they each become aware of each other's existence. That's how it, lays it out on Wikipedia here. But they challenge each other to a series of duels, and whichever universe loses, the total battle is going to cease to exist. And some of these battles are going to be determined by the readers. They had like a little section at the end of the comic, and I think they said they sent these out to comic shops beforehand as well, like the ballots for people to vote. So the ones that were decided by the miniseries creative team itself was Aquaman versus Namor. Very two similar characters there. Elektra versus Catwoman. The Flash versus Quicksilver, another very similar character there. Robin versus Jubilee of the X-Men. The Silver Surfer versus Green Lantern. Thor versus Captain Marvel. And Captain Marvel, not the Marvel Captain Marvel, but Shazam is who that Captain Marvel is, for more confusion if you're not familiar with the Captain Marvel of DC Comics. And then the ones determined by reader votes were Superman versus the Hulk, Spider-Man versus Superboy, Batman versus Captain America, which is funny because those two are going to team up in that comic book I have to that I'm going to be reading here. Wolverine versus Lobo, Storm versus Wonder Woman. So those are the ones that were determined by readers, and we'll go through who won those as we continue talking about this comic as we go here. So to start us off here, like I said, I took some pictures on my phone here of the panels that really spoke to me here. So I am going to just kind of go over what some of these are. So the story starts off with Spider-Man kind of appearing in Gotham, where we see the Joker. And just at this time in the 90s, it wasn't Peter Parker Spider-Man, it was Ben Reilly, which was a clone of Peter Parker, which will come in handy later. We do see Superman with Juggernaut as well. Just little quick flashes. We have Batman going up against Bullseye from Daredevil comics, where Bullseye has like a knife to Robin. This is when all the characters I don't understand what's going on here. J. Jonah Jameson takes over like the Daily Planet at one point. When those collide, we get Bane trying to punch Captain America. He's blocking out with the shield. Daredevil taking out the Riddler. Batman going up against Venom. Punisher taking on Deathstroke. Very two similar characters there. Spider-Man taking on Man-Bat. Just the first issue is a lot of that. A lot of build-up. People not knowing what's going on. And then at the end of it, they have this, this ballot on how you can vote. And what I found interesting was 1996. You could actually vote by emailing. So, like, some of these emails are like dvmbatman@aol.com, mvdhulk@aol.com, where you can, vote for some of these, which is pretty interesting. Or you could mail your ballot. So AOL was like a sponsor for this. Oh, you could also drop it off at a comic book store. Pretty cool. We also had in one of these comics, like Thanos going up against Darkseid, which is really cool. Both kind of similar characters there. So just really, really fun there. Thanos, was created in the... When was his first appearance? Thanos' first appearance was in 73, created by Jim Starlin. Then we had Darkseid, which was really a character created in the 70 and 71, so predates Thanos by 2 years. Created by Jack Kirby, who did work for both of these companies as well. Then we had, continuation of Bane versus Captain America. Just really fun to see. Oh, Nightwing versus Gambit. So, I love Gambit as one of the X-Men, and Nightwing's my favorite Bat family member after Batman. So seeing those two go up against it for a panel was really cool. And it was just it was a big novelty thing, there wasn't a lot of deep story. It's just excuses for these characters to fight. And at the end of issue 2, the Flash had beat Quicksilver. Aquaman had beat Submariner, Namor. And Thor had beaten Shazam, or Captain Marvel, Billy Batson. Yeah, so at this point of issue 2, nobody had... the vote ones had not happened yet. And at the end of issue 2, DC led 2-1. Then issue 3 starts. We have some just great art of all these characters. Seeing Batman and Captain America next to each other with Storm and Wonder Woman there, and Spider-Man with Wolverine along with Lobo and Superboy. Just pretty insane stuff going on there. We get Hulk vs. Superman at this point. And no arguments here on who wins, to be honest. I think the official vote is Superman wins against Hulk, and I don't think you can argue that. I don't think you can. Batman, Captain America kind of ends in a draw. And but Captain America was going to drown, and Batman saved him, so kind of the points go to Batman there. That one was voted as well. Batman's just the fan favorite, so I think he would win that poll going against almost anybody but maybe Spider-Man. Spider-Man beat Superboy, which I just don't think is possible. So Superboy in this is a clone of Clark Kent, and this Spider-Man, like I said, is a clone of Peter Parker, Ben Reilly. So they kind of, Spider-Man learns that Superboy's a clone, and he kind of has I kind of know what that is, how that's type of thing. And then Wolverine beats Lobo, which, again, I think was always going to happen. Wolverine is just so popular. I know Lobo is popular too, but definitely not as popular as Wolverine. And Storm beat Wonder Woman, which I think if you had to do the vote nowadays, I think might be reversed. I think Wonder Woman might win that vote nowadays. But the Spider-Man one, you could just, versus Superboy, is just because the fans were voting on it. And you could possibly say Batman for that too. Captain America was super strength, but there's been times where Batman has beat Superman. So, Batman comes prepared, but I don't think there's a lot of prep time for them in this case. So issue 3 ends with a really cool moment where the two universes are melded together, and we get a combination of some really weird characters. We get Superman and Captain America together as Super Soldier. He's got the Captain America look. But his shield is the Superman S. So that's cool. We get Spider-Boy, which is a mix of Superboy and Spider-Man. And it's got the what shape is that the Superman S is in? But it's got that shape on his chest, but a spider inside of N7S, and he's got like the rest of the Spider-Man suit, but without a mask on. We get Doctor Strange Fate. Doctor Strange Fate. So he's an amalgam of Doctor Strange from Marvel, Doctor Fate from DC, and hints of Professor X from Marvel as well. But he looks really rad. We have a mix of Wonder Woman and Storm. I don't know if it has her name here. We get an amalgam of the Justice League and X-Men called JLX. We get a Wolverine Batman mix and a Doctor Doom Doomsday mix. So it's like Doctor Doomsday, I think is what they call him. Pretty cool. It doesn't last long. Issue 4, they fix it pretty quickly. But they did this cool run where there was a lot of one-shots in April after this issue was released, I guess, where they had Amazon. That's the amalgam of Storm and Wonder Woman. Then they had an Assassins one, which was a mix of Deathstroke and Daredevil. Then they had a mixture of Elektra and Catwoman. Then there was one called Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., which was an amalgam of Bruce Wayne and Nick Fury. Bullets and Bracelets, an amalgam of Punisher and Steve Trevor. Doctor Strange Fate, like I said, JLX. Magneto and the Magnetic Men. So, Magneto mixed with, well, it doesn't really say here. Speed Demon, which was an amalgam of Ghost Rider, Etrigan and Flash. Spider-Boy, which was Spider-Man and Superboy. Super Soldier, Superman and Captain America, like I said. X-Patrol, which was an amalgam of Doom Patrol and X-Force. And Legends of the Dark Claw, which was Wolverine and Batman mixed together. A year later, they did more of these. Guess what? I actually found a Spider-Boy team-up, which was in the second series, at my local comic shop today as well. $5. I bought that issue where he teams up with the two versions of the Guardians of the Galaxy and the two versions of the Legions of Superhero. So kind of like a mix-up there. But lots of fun. This stuff's a lot of fun. They end up being able to win and defeat the two universes. We got to see Spectre and Living Tribunal as well in this. So the Living Tribunal we just talked about at the end of episode 5 of Loki, where you can see the Living Tribunal's head in the void. And Spectre is a Justice Society of America member, and is kind of on the level of Living Tribunal. They go ahead and are able to, like I said, reverse the amalgamation. The brothers have realize the pointlessness of the conflict. They withdraw and congratulate each other. And kind of an underwhelming ending. That's the one thing I'll say. But, I mean, I don't know how she wrapped this thing up in 4 issues. Really, because it was just designed to have these characters fight. That's what it was designed for. It was to have these characters fight. But lots of fun, I will say. I really did enjoy this a heck of a lot. And if I can find the trade paperback of it, I am going to get it. Because it is, like I said, just a whole bunch of fun. Lots of great art. Great moments in it. I recommend, if you can find it, whether you read it online, which is what I did the first time, or you find it on some sort of where you buy the paperback or you buy the issue separately. It is a lot of fun. I recommend it a lot, and I can't wait to talk some more about this as we go. Doctor Strange Fate, that's cool. So many of these amalgam characters look cool, and I think I'm planning to read these as well. They had like 5 of these amalgam one-shots at my comic shop. Each one was $5, so I I didn't pick them all up that were there. But definitely want to give this a shot here because it is a lot of good, just good stuff. And I wish there was more of this. I know that we get some of these crossovers. We have Avengers JLA as well. That one, I think, is the latest one, and that was made in 2003 to 2004 is when that was. But yeah, I don't know if we're getting any of these anytime soon. Which would be a shame if not, because like I said, it's a lot of fun to see, like, as a DC fan and as a Marvel fan, seeing these characters together, interacting, when they, usually shouldn't be, is just, like I said, it's just so much fun. And this is what comics are about. All the people that are always like, I'm DC only, I'm Marvel only, all that kind of stuff. Doesn't make any sense. It's so much fun if you're fans of both of these, because there's just there's so much good on both companies. And it looks like a lot of times in the 90s is when this was going pretty strong, though I think that's probably because I think comics were, at a point struggling in the 90s, so they were probably trying to market it a little bit better then. But we haven't had anything in like 16, almost 20 years. James Gunn was talking about how he would always be down for a movie version of crossover between the two. He doesn't think it's ever going to happen, but and I probably tend to agree with him. I don't think that's probably going to happen anytime soon, if at all. They're both owned by such big companies that, now again, we didn't think Spider-Man would be able to be in the MCU, so we can take that with a grain of salt, I guess. But this is Warner Brothers and Disney that would have to come to these agreements and probably split the profit, all that kind of stuff. That's probably why this stuff has kind of gone and not been released recently at all, and with new versions of this kind of stuff. But yeah, if you go ahead and give it a try, see what it's like, let us know your thoughts on this series here that just happened. Not just happened. The DC versus Marvel Comics special, the 4 issues. And I think the next time we probably talk about comics, I'm probably going to be talking Captain America and Batman. Like I said, that was John Byrne in 1997. If you can find a copy of that and want to listen along to my review of that after reading, I definitely recommend it. But I think that is where we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Like I said, coming up next week or in the coming days is the interview with my friend Jack. He went to Disneyland, California. He got to experience Avengers Campus. We'll have that on. I have to do a Black Widow review as well. And I think I'm going to release another Elseworlds episode soon once I finish getting caught up on Superman and Lois. That'll probably focus on that first season of that show. So if you want to give us a follow or if you want to contact us, you can do that at TO Infinity Saga on Twitter or Facebook.com/Infinity Saga Beyond. Or email us, marvelplusrecaps@gmail.com, with your thoughts or any suggestions on a special episode or a comic that you think would be fun to talk about on here. I'm always open to having new guests on as well, but go ahead and drop us a line and we'll see what can happen. But have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you next time.